The rest of the news Thursday. Good morning, it's Dan Earhart. Imagine an art heist that takes place but doesn't because it's been cloaked so no one can see it and it's invisible to museum security cameras. It's not the reflected light from the intruder that's been cloaked. It's the time in which the event occurs. That stitch has now been accomplished at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. Not long enough for a robbery to occur. But time has been masked for 40 trillionths of a second. And what happened during that time didn't happen during that time because that time didn't exist. It's called a time lens. Well, as if using a time lens, a similar yet opposite story unfolds this week in Wrocław, Poland. A young art student slipped past guards and hung his own painting in a section of the National Museum devoted to contemporary Polish works. It was up there 3 days before curators realized it was even there. The painting was moved to the museum cafe, where it's now displayed to be auctioned Sunday with proceeds going to charity. The young artist is now famous, and they all lived happily ever after. Birthdays today. Robert Duvall is 81, and Stephen Joseph Heimel of Alaska Public Radio is, well, Steve's been using the time lens forever, so it's anybody's guess. -4 with light snow this morning in Anchorage as Steve broadcast the news on KNBA. In his native Pennsylvania, fracking now threatens both a geology and a pastoral way of life. In Ohio, there was a 4.0 earthquake New Year's Eve in an area around Youngstown where 5 liquid injection wells pumped chemicals deep into Mother Earth and caused her to quake. That earthquake now declared to be not from natural causes. Doris Day will be 90 April 3rd, and she's releasing a new studio album called My Heart. Next week, she receives a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Los Angeles Film Critics Association. Hey, here's a young fellow from Port Clinton, Ohio, 84 years of age, who has tried and failed again on his 7th attempt to sail around Cape Horn off the southern tip of South America, famous for being some of the world's roughest seas. The mast on his boat, the TLC, broke in high winds, and Tom Corrigan, who's an attorney, activated his emergency beacon. The Chilean Navy has now spotted him, and a rescue is underway. What do you bet he goes for number 8? Mount Rainier National Park opens again on Saturday. It's been closed all week since New Year's Day. Park Ranger Margaret Anderson was shot to death when she attempted to stop a car driven by Iraq War vet Ben Barnes to warn him that he needed chains on his tires to drive where he was going. New York City Council votes no to corporate personhood yesterday, saying no to Citizens United, joining cities Missoula, Boulder, and South Miami. Alec Baldwin's been dropped from his spokes gig with Wegman supermarkets in New York because of his recent iPhone Donnybrook with American Airlines on the tarmac at LAX. He wouldn't turn it off. He was so hooked into playing the game Words with Friends. And what a difference a day makes. Rick Santorum raised $1 million yesterday. Tomorrow is Friday. And until then, this is Dan Earhart. The rest of the news.